G'day and welcome to my garage. Well, the strip down of this motor begins. Got to get this pulley off. It's not the right size and I've got noisy bearings. So this pulley's got to come off. I've cobbled together a puller. It's on there tight. It's probably been on for a long time. But I've cobbled together a puller for it, so it's working. Started off with a bang. Got to get a smaller spigot to go in the end. I didn't measure this. I should have done. Alright, what size is this? Alright, where's my calipers? Cleaned up this morning to make some room for this job.
627. Should fit it. 625. About 5'8", but this must be a bit too tight. I'll have to cobble something
Make
up.
something for this. Bring you back. I'm just finishing, start again. I'm just finishing off a small adapter to extend the nose of that puller, the large puller screw. This fellow, just extending the nose long enough so it will reach through the pulley, because that did fit in the pulley just, but the problem was that the pulley's a lot deeper than that machined section there, so that's the original piece. It's probably a little bit hardened, I don't know. And that's the extension piece. Let's see if this works. The new piece is working, but oh gee, it's fighting me all the way to the end. Got easier. Right on the last one it was easier. Mark the end housing and of both ends and pop them off. Well, now I'm going to attempt to pull this bearing off. Excuse me. I've had to change the threads in these. I didn't have bolts and I couldn't work out what they were. They looked like, and I have a 3/8 UNF tap, but it wouldn't go in there. I still reckon it was 3/8 UNF, but who knows what they are. Anyhow, I drilled it out and tapped it. It is now M10 1.25. It's the fine thread. I've got a couple of cylinder head bolts from the Daihatsu Centro motor. Will do the job hopefully. This material is rock hard. The tap, I only have a bottoming tap, plug tab, and it argued all the way. I didn't even get an eighth of a turn. It just didn't want to happen. But I eventually won out. So let's see how tight it's going to be. If I can get this silly looking thread to start. I know why. It's not lined up. There we go. This thing's not centre. Why is that so? Just back it off a bit. This silly looking fan, it's got two fans, one on the inside and one on the outside.
That doesn't want to work. Now it does. Gentle persuasion. Alright, let's see what happens.
I think it moved. No, it didn't. Yes, it did.
That fan is a pain in the butt.
It is moving. I think it's got a press fit collar. Not too sure. I can't see a join, but it's a funny looking bearing otherwise. But anyhow, it's coming off. It's amazing how things are relatively easy when you've got the right tools. No, that collar looks like it could be part of the bearing. Oh no, there it is loose. It has a retaining plate, two screws coming in from the front. So that's that bearing. How about this one? Get you out of the way.
Right.
Well, that's coming off nice and easy. That's why it was noisy. So, any markings that I can see? Not without my magnifiers, I'll tell you that now. Here we go. 6204Z. 6008Z, I think it is. Alright. Hopefully they're common enough bearings. But remember that's from the other, well that's from the big one anyhow. It's too big for there. Okay. I have to go to the bearing house, see what I can get from them.
It's the back bearing. Let's do this bearing. Long sockets, they come in handy. That's that bearing. It's home. I forgot to get a socket for this bearing. And yeah, it'll be long enough. That's the wrong size. And I've got to put the plate on. Where's the plate? I need to find the plate. There's the plate. The bearing retainer plate.
Beautiful. Don't forget to put the bearing retainer plate in there, which I did remember, amazing enough. That blows a lot of air. So there's a fan in the front, fan in the back. There's the housing. Well, there we go. Now I've got to work out how to get this monster onto the milling machine. It's 90 millimetres too long, which means that the drivetrain has to move over. About 75 millimetres too long. And it's too long in the direction of the work table. The work table has to pass the back of this motor. So it has to go over whether I like it or not. I just got to work out how to do that. And now that the motor's got new bearings in it, sounds beautiful, works nice. I'll clean this bench up, put the motor to the side and put the mill on this bench so I can work out what I'm going to do. I was in the process of machining this when the when the motor burnt out, so I thought I'd spin it up on the drill and just finish it off so I can pull this apart, and then I'll get back onto the motor. Well, this is where I'm at the present moment. The old motor's being removed and the new motor is in its place. Now this new motor now puts the motor pulley at about 50 millimetres. Yeah, at about 50 millimetres past where it was before. So I now have to work out how I'm going to get this whole assembly over 50 millimetres and still keep alignment with the pulleys. I'm able to, and I've brought the front countershaft pulleys over. I can bring the back countershaft pulleys over, and that leaves me about 55 millimetres, say 50 millimetres. Fifty, 55 millimetres. So I can move that bearing block over the 55 millimetres. So I can still maintain alignment with the front 4-stage pulley. But that whole assembly there has to come over, except for this 4-stage pulley. That stands still. That whole thing has to come over about 50, 55 millimetres. Now I've got a 150 mil by 3 metre plate under the house. Got it for another job. Far too much for what I needed, but hey, it's going to come in handy. So 150 mil plate will stretch across here and 50 millimetres longer, so I can move this bearing block assembly over 150 millimetres. That should align me then with the motor shaft pulley. Hopefully that will work out. There's a capacitor on the outside of the motor down here. I'm hoping that when I get it up there, I'll be able to clear this frame. If not, I can notch some out of the frame. I want to retain this base only because I'm cheap. I don't want to go out and spend another $30 on another board. $25, I think they are, something like that. So what I will probably end up doing is putting some, excuse me, some legs underneath the board, some plates underneath the board, just 50 by 25, 50 by 20 timber strips. I should have something I can make. Yeah, I should have something I can make that with. If I can get away with it, I don't want to extend the board, but if I have to, I'll do it that way. But I can't come any further back with that leg because that's at the end of the board now. Again, I don't want to replace the board, not if I don't have to. So I'm hoping that when I get this pivot hole up into there, this motor will clear that frame. Anyhow, the old frame's still there. This frame, I have to extend it to pick up the mounting brackets, put a brace in there, strengthen it all up. A bit of a modification to this mounting bracket, but I should be able to use the majority of it, including the mounting frame to the frame. So that's my job now, is to modify this mounting bracket to accept the new motor base. I've only got to extend it. I'll extend it 50 millimetres, but I've got to straighten this part up. Alright, that's what I'm up to. I'll bring you back a bit later when there's further progress. I've mounted a 150 by 250 by 5mm plate. I've had to notch the plate out because the pulleys are lower than the plate surface. This plate allowed me to move this bearing set and shaft over 50 millimetres. So it's where it's supposed to be. I can now mark out the slots in here somewhere. Yep, there they are. There's one, there's 2, 3, 4. They'll come through there. Originally, the bearing blocks were adjusted for belt tension, but I'm going to fix the bearing blocks to the plate, and then the whole assembly becomes adjustable. I've maintained, well, you probably can't see it, but I've maintained the majority of the motor housing from the old motor, and will adapt this motor to fit. I was able to, 50 millimetres was enough to get an alignment with the belt, the primary drive belt to the motor. The motor shaft pulley, which is there, that's been turned around, and that belt is running pretty close to the motor housing, but plenty of room. There's probably a good 15-20 mil clearance. It's a lot closer than what it was before. The shaft up the top here doesn't quite come to the end. It's about 10 millimetres short, but that's okay. The set screw, grub screw, is on the main boss on the inside, so it will have, well, 10 mil less than the thickness of that hub, and the hub's 40 mil. So yeah, there'll be 30 millimetres of hub sitting on the shaft. So this is working out. Once I have all this finished and it's working right, I will trim this plate off, do something, make it look nice. But in the meantime, that's it. I'm at the moment marking out the four drilling positions. All right, I'll continue on and I'll catch up with you later. Notice which way the motor turns. Turns anti-clockwise. This is a cutter which needs to turn clockwise. So the motor is turning the wrong way. Unbelievable.